Love.
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 Care.
Love. Love.
Sex.
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 Sex. Damnation.
Dance.
Dhamaka.
Danger.
Darkness. Dimag kharaab hai.
Tishkow. Tishkow.
Daru.
Desperados.
Destruction.
This is the LSDcast, India's first podcast about love, sex, and dating.
Beloved listeners, we are back. Prem and Rogue are here
Yes, we are.
to solve everything.
Absolutely. It is your favorite duo, ready to fight whatever you have in mind that other people could not answer. For you, it is us, the Rogue and Prem show.
The Rogue and Prem love, sex, and dating show.
That's right.
And this is the only place where you have brother and sister waxing eloquent about the vagaries of life and navigating all your relationships. So we've got a hell of a show for you today.
Yes, we do.
Some of it is quite serious. Actually, a lot of it is quite serious, but you know us. We tend to find humor in the unlikeliest, smelliest places ever.
That's right.
Yes. And our one of our questions today has to do with body odor and how difficult it is to discuss these things and whether it's a deal breaker or not. For one of our listeners, it can't be a deal breaker. And if you want to know what that means, you just have to stick around and listen. And we've got a special guest on the show. We've got Sonali Gupta, as promised, psychologist extraordinaire, who is going to help us unravel the mysteries of infidelity.
Wow, Rogue, that sounds amazing. There's only one thing that's going to make it slightly, tad bit less interesting is that I'm not going to be there.
This is true. Because of the time difference, we couldn't have Prem join us. So it's just me, Rogue, talking to Sonali Gupta. And it is the answer to a question we got that we felt like we needed professional interjection because both of us agreed, which was unusual, about what we wanted to say. And it also made us really sad. So I think we were getting quite bogged down with the answer and we thought, let's take it to somebody professional.
Yeah, and you know, since we really wanted to get a definitive answer to some of the questions that we discussed, we thought what better than to get the right person for the job. So we actually got a professional, and Sonali's going to be in the show. And like Rogue said, they're going to be discussing this in just a little bit.
Because we're like that. We're really giving and sweet, and we think about you guys and doing the best for you.
Of course.
Yeah, so stick around. And Prem, what's been going on with your life? Anything exciting? Any body odor? Any infidelity?
No, everything is pretty normal. I think everything is in check, smell good. So nothing out of the ordinary.
Right. That doesn't make for a very good show if everything is boring and normal. Are you still not drinking?
I am still not drinking.
Don't you miss the smell of whiskey and whatever else you drink? What do you drink? You drink whiskey?
I'm not an alcoholic, so it's not like I'll just like go in this spasm and get these doras in the middle of the street. I need my alcohol. Or like just grab someone who's like carrying like a 6-pack of beers back home. No, not gonna do that. Well, if you want to know what I did on the weekend, actually it was fun. I went out bowling and I went to this gaming arcade.
We have places like that here now.
Oh my God, it was so much fun. I felt like
You sweated a lot.
I sweated a lot? Is that what you just asked me? What?
Is that what you said?
No. I said, I swear a lot. No.
Oh, okay, people, he swears. He's not sweating. Right, anyway, go on.
No, I was completing a sentence, which was, I swear something like that makes you into a child again, because I really felt like I was 18 again. I was jumping around the place. I was bowling, playing all these video games.
What, you're not 18 anymore?
Only mentally.
Oh, poor listeners.
Only mentally.
Yeah, these arcade places are really fun.
So the weekend was fun. I went to the beach And I think this will be the...
You're always going to the beach.
You know why? Because it's going to be winter very soon, and that's going to be the end of that because it gets really cold on the seaside. So make the most of it.
Interesting. If only we had beaches. Our pollution on our beaches is really terrible. But that is a different show. So we are going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with our sex question.
Yes, ma'am. See you soon.
Hi, this is Michael Burns from Tall Tales Takeaway, India's first storytelling podcast where we feature true stories by people just like you. Find us anywhere where podcasts are found.
So, some of us are very sensitive to our environment. Actually, I guess a lot of us are, where things we see, things we smell, things we hear can have an impact on how we react to the environment. Like for me, loud noises make me really irritable. And I can't handle it very well. So if somebody's clanging or banging, or I remember being at an airport one time waiting for my boyfriend at the time to pick me up, and these trolleys guys were just making an awful racket, talking really loudly. And by the time he came to pick me up, I was in a really bad mood and I took it out on him because it just gets on my nerves. One of those things that affect people is the sense of smell, right?
Yeah.
So our sex question this time has to do with the olfactory sense. Prem, tell us more.
Love. And danger.
All right. So this is a strange question that we got written in. But hey, this is a show where we discuss everything, and all questions of all sorts are welcome. So Tina writes in, and she says that she is engaged to this guy. It's an arranged marriage. They've been meeting, they really like each other, and now they're going to get married. And, she really digs him. She enjoys spending time with him. Everything is pretty much a check mark. But when they're together and, they get close to each other and they're a little physical and they start making out and things like that, there's a very weird smell. And she...
Oh.
Yeah, well, she has said clearly that I know that it's not his body odor per se, but it just...
Is it his cologne or his aftershave?
It's no, definitely not. I think Rogue or cologne and aftershave would be the opposite of smelling weird and bad.
No, not at all.
Even though, yes, of course, but then she would have mentioned that, oh, it's musky, it's this, it's that, and then she would have bought him a cologne and that would be the end of that. But she clearly says that it's none of those, and it's something from his skin.
Yeah.
So, and she doesn't know what to do with it because it's a huge turn off for her, and she feels that every time they do get intimate, she just wants to run away.
Oh my God. Wow, okay.
Yes, so she asks us, what can she do? Now, when she says that, what she means is that, yeah, what can she do?
Wow, besides run away. Well, she clearly can't. She's committed to marrying this man.
She is,
And she likes him.
She does. So, Tina, that's tricky because whatever the solution may be, is not something that can happen overnight. I really feel that it's something to do with your water intake. Now, I'll tell you why. Some time ago, I was dating this girl.
And by the way, Prem is not a doctor. So people, listen, this is an opinion.
Yeah, of course. Otherwise, this would be a different show. It would be the Dr. Prem and the Auntie Rogue show.
Oh, be quiet.
डॉक्टर साहब और आंटी जी के शो के लिए आ जाना बस. No. So I was dating this girl. It was actually a long time ago. A very pretty girl. Everything was great. And there was this weird smell in her mouth. And I first thought that it was her tooth or something that's decaying because it was a really foul smell.
Right, but this is from her mouth. That actually makes sense if you're not drinking water, your digestion and stuff. But this is not from his mouth.
Exactly. But I didn't deal with it. I just ran away. I mean, because I was not committed to it. You know what I mean? So,
Right, but
in a case like Tina, she can't run away. She has to
yeah.
go with this. Like,
Yeah. And you know, I did the same thing, which is something we've talked about in a previous episode where I dated this guy. And now that I feel like now that I'm older and smarter and more able to take ownership of what's going on, I would actually have discussed it with him. His cologne was really off-putting. But here's the thing. So you're saying it's not his cologne, but for all people, you know, your skin chemistry reacts very differently with different things that you spray on.
Agreed.
So Calvin Klein 1 is going to smell totally different on you than it does on me, than it's going to smell on anybody else.
right.
So, Tina, I think you should try to address the cologne problem or the deo problem because some things smell weird on some people. So, for example, that guy that I, you know, used to salsa dance with, but then I couldn't handle anymore getting close to him because I was perpetually like looking somewhere else so that I didn't have to inhale. He used a really popular brand of cologne that other people have used just fine, but it smelled awful on him.
Right.
And I wish I'd told him that. But of course, Tina, we don't have the full facts. It could be what he's eating. Now, this is delicate because when you tell somebody that you don't like something about them, they really internalize it and they think you don't like them.
Yes.
It's a rejection of their entirety. It's very hard to be mature about somebody.
Yes. It's a very thin line to actually come back from, you know, like once you said it,
Yeah.
it could have some very serious repercussions. And if someone is not cool about it and they have like their pride and ego, they're very defensive.
Or just insecurity.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. It is tough.
Yep.
So I've been told things about my shape, or of course I ditched this asshole, that I didn't appreciate because these are not things I have any control over. So when somebody criticizes a part of you that you actually, it's not like your clothing, you can't shed it and be like, oh, okay, I'll just never wear this again because it doesn't suit me. It's part of who you are. It's really difficult to get past that and not feel completely shamed, rejected, or hurt. So, Tina, this is going to be difficult because, of course, you want to address it, but you have to address it really, really delicately. Make sure he doesn't think it's about him. And maybe be collaborative. Say, you know, it's pheromones. It's not something I know you're doing on purpose. People have different chemistry. I'm reacting to this while you're, you know, possibly nobody's ever had a problem with it before you. So try a different diet, more water, different soap, cosmetics, deodorant, powder, whatever.
I would say, Tina, brush him, like brush his teeth for him, bathe him,
What?
and then just fluff him up
Hello?
with some nice baby powder.
You're infantilizing.
And then he's ready for you. I can just picture him being like
Come on.
taken out of the bathroom, wiped down, and then, you know, you have those.
That's ridiculous. You know, this is a fetish, right? People actually pay to have this done if they can't find a partner who does this for them. They want to be put in nappies and spanked and tucked in and stuff. Yeah, really. Infantilization.
So cute. Mommy.
Yeah. And they want to be nursed and stuff.
So, Tina, you'll have to just accept this one. There's not much that you can do or change. I mean, you can work around it, do a few things here and there, but you got to get used to it. You don't really have a choice because this is the guy that you'll be marrying. But there are other ways to look at the situation. You can make it better for yourself. You can have like scented candles, use a different perfume.
Yeah, use a really strong perfume yourself so it cancels out his smell.
And Tina, if you focus on the problem, then it's going to make the problem worse. So the best is to not really think about it. And before you know it, the problem would have just evaporated into thin air.
But Prem, you know, there is the possibility that whatever she tries, water, cologne, bath, soap, whatever, it may not work.
Yeah. So basically what you would do is that because he's going to be the man of the house and going to be the father of your kids someday, you're just going to have to suck it up. That's figuratively. So that is my advice to you.
Okay. I think that's fair advice. Right, guys, that is the definitive answer you're getting from Prem and Rogue. Tina, I really hope this works out, but yeah, maybe it's up to you.
Yeah, Tina, just keep your nose in the air. I mean, keep your chin up in the air. That's what I mean.
All right, we're going to be back after this short message with Sonali Gupta, and we're going to talk about having an affair with a married person and all of that.
Okay, stick around.
Find the LSDcast online on Twitter and Facebook and on iTunes and the Google Play Store.
And we're back. And Prem and I got a very interesting love and dating question that sort of broke our hearts a little bit. And we decided that we need professional help with this one. So we have a special guest on the show in Bombay. This is Sonali Gupta, who's a psychologist. And we're going to take the love and dating question now.
Sex.
So the question we got is about somebody who's dating a married man. And her question to us is, how do I ask him to leave his wife? Like, how do I have that conversation? I'm just going to let that sit with you guys for a second. So she's dating somebody who's married and she wants us to help her figure out how and when to ask him to leave his wife. And Prem and I were just so sad because I think we're unified on our thoughts on this, and we didn't know how to break it to our listener that we don't think this is really what's at stake. Like, we think the question is just all wrong. So we're handing it over to a professional because she deals with this in her day-to-day professional life.
So yes, I do agree with you. I think she needs to ask herself first, if her partner wants to translate this into marriage and if they have had a conversation about it. He cannot leave his wife. He needs to make a choice about what he wants to do with it. And so the choice is his. So they can definitely have a conversation about it. And now that we are dating and she is his secondary partner as of now, if he is married, so they can have a conversation about what's the future ahead of us. But asking someone to leave, I think people make their own choices. So people take their own responsibility. But yes, I do agree. I can understand that she comes from a place where she may feel that she doesn't have a future. Or her future is so tied with him that she can think of a future only if he leaves her.
In your experience, Sonali, have you come across people who are happy with this arrangement where they are the secondary partner and they're with somebody who's married and then it just continues like this?
No. In my experience, the arrangement cannot go on. So after a point, the relationship starts getting impacted as they feel that, they don't belong anywhere. They cannot spend weekends with the person who they are, who they love so deeply. They cannot be with the person on, let's say that person's birthday, for example.
Yeah, or a holiday.
Absolutely. Whether it's a holiday or not just that, even if they see their person, irrespective of the gender, the person that they are dating, go on long holidays with their spouse, it triggers a lot of jealousy, insecurity, and also worry for the future.
And how could it not? Which is why Prem and I were like, we feel so bad because I think the whole point of an affair is that that person doesn't want marriage. That person is already married with a spouse and has all that domesticity. What's exciting about an affair is that you don't have all that. So then why, if you think about it logically, this person is cheating on his wife. If he were not a cheater and was happy in his marriage, he would just stay there. So therefore, by default, he's not looking for that sort of stability. He's looking for excitement, even if the scenario is that he was forced into an arranged marriage and now has met the love of his life or whatever, which I think that's rare. So the person he's cheating with, the secondary partner, I think has false expectations if she believes that he's going to now do the same thing again that he's running away from with her.
I think that's the part I disagree with. I think there are a lot of people out there who may be in these relationships where you're speaking about infidelity and they still think that they would want a marriage with this person, who they are dating now, who's their secondary partner. So they either feel that they're stuck in a bad marriage or they feel they're stuck in a marriage where all love is lost. And now comes another person who makes them feel young and who makes them feel suddenly all good about themselves. They've never felt so good. They've never experienced this side of themselves. And so, they may consider marriage, but in the society that we live in, whether it's India or abroad, breaking away from a marriage and marrying somebody else who is your secondary partner is really tough. And it's a big call to make. But as I always say, not taking a decision is also a decision. So when you choose to be with your secondary partner and you choose to stay in your marriage, even that's a decision taken.
Interesting. I'm reminded actually of a film I saw recently called Kapoor and Sons. Did you watch that? There was quite an interesting take on the dynamic of the other woman, the family. If you guys haven't seen it, it's a Hindi film, but it's not a Bollywood film. I think there's a couple of songs in it, but it's like fairly modern mostly. And so I thought it was an interesting film, not of a very Bollywood sensibility, like fairly indie-ish. And there was this depiction of a triangle where this guy is in a marriage and he's vehemently denying that he's having an affair. I'm sorry, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen it, really, really sorry, you should skip the next minute. But Sonali, what did you think of that as a representation?
I do think that that's a scenario which is common. I'm not saying very common, but I'm saying that's a scenario that does happen whether we speak about it or whether we deny it. And I was very happy that there was a movie which was talking about it so openly, because it also spoke about what it did to the family. So I thought that was really powerful, and how it changes life on, both sides.
For both the women as well.
Yes. And, let me just say this, that I think it's not just men who are having affairs. I think there are equally married women who are having affairs with men. So there are a lot of women who are married who also may be having an affair or with another man. So
or a woman.
Yeah, or a woman. Yeah, exactly. So I think I think we must just be careful to not get biased that men are the only one who are cheating or who are into adultery.
Fair enough. I think just in my experience, it's the men I know who are cheating or looking. So one of the reasons I got off Tinder when I got on it a few years ago was because I came face to face with a picture of a friend's husband, and that just freaked me out slightly. And so I had already started, like the first question I would ask is, hi, are you married? And oftentimes the answer was yes, and it just really turned me off because I wasn't looking for that kind of a hookup.
True. So I think a lot of people in today's time reach out saying that they have seen their husband have a profile on a matrimonial site or Tinder, or they have seen their husband engaging in cyber sex, or their wife engaging in, that I opened the laptop and I saw images of my wife with her partner and they just flashed all over her Mac.
Oh my God.
So, I think online infidelity is huge.
Yeah, that's kind of distressing. So what is going on with this, especially with the online world?
I think that's a very broad and layered.
Okay, let's come back to the more narrow. So this girl who wrote us wants to talk about her partner leaving his wife. And we just have said that it's also a very layered topic. That needs to be a conversation. And it's possible that he might want to leave her, which is actually more optimistic than Prem and I were being, because both of us feel like that just doesn't usually happen. Maybe we're biased because of what we've seen. In fact, somebody I know comes to mind who's a serial, I can't call him a monogamist, he's a serial bigamist. He's married and he continues to act like he's single over and over again, drawing these women in, preying on them and saying he's going to leave his wife. We've seen this happen so many times in the last years and they keep falling for it. So it makes us kind of upset for women who write in and ask questions like this.
True. So I do agree to it. So I think it's also about, in situations like these, you have to ask yourself, how long can you wait? How realistic it is for you to wait, irrespective of your gender, whether you're male or female. How realistic it is. How do you see your life forward? Do you see yourself spending the rest of your life with this person? And does the person also feel the same? And is there any movement on that front? So you've been dating someone for 2 years, and in the last 2 years, there has been no movement at all. The person's wife or husband doesn't know about it, and the person doesn't talk about future and says that we will get to it, maybe a little later, I'm not sure. So those are signals where I would really suggest that you must seek counseling, speak to people who you can trust, so that you figure out how do you see your future together.
Right. And if you want to stay a secondary and you're okay with it, then more power to you if you can make it work. But
make that an informed choice. That's what I would say. Staying secondary, and when we talk about the Indian context or even abroad, it comes with a certain image, A, and B, it also means continuing to do that for a really long time, which may be all right as of now, but after a point, it gets tough. So make an informed choice.
well, I have to say that I've ended our conversation with Sonali with a little more empathy for the person who wrote us rather than just being horrified. So thank you for that. And I hope we didn't depress you too much by, how Prem and I approach this generally. But thanks so much, Sonali. You've been wonderful. If anybody wants to reach you, would you tell them how they can find you?
Yes, so they can reach me on my website, which is www.guptasonali.com, guptasonali.com.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
So you already know you have to like us. No, love us. Show us your love by also sending questions and comments. Do you disagree with something we said? We want to hear from you. Go on, don't be shy.
So Rogue, I love having guests on our show. It's the best. Ask me why.
Okay. Prem, why is it the best to have guests on our show?
Because then I don't have much work.
Lazy bum. I should have seen that coming.
No, but Sonali was awesome, and I'm so glad that she was on the show. Thank you so much, Sonali, for being a part of LSD.
Yes, we're very happy that she can join us. You guys, if you have more questions for us or even for Sonali Gupta, send them our way. We're on Twitter, we're on Facebook, at LSDcast, email, and we'd love for you to review us or rate us.
Yes, come on. You need to be a little more proactive as our listeners and go to the App Store and rate us.
Yeah. Yes. Help us. Then we'll get sponsors and we can do live events or something after that. Although I don't know if you'll want to see us.
The way it works is that we get sponsors, we send out a lot of gifts, and you know what? You could be that lucky winner.
This is also true. And maybe we could give up our day jobs and just do this. That would be so nice.
Wouldn't it? Mm-hmm. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's that time now where we would say goodbye and would...
Until next week, we'll be back.
That's what I wanted to say.
We have that ESP connection. What can we say?
There you go.
Okay, bye, everybody.
You've been listening to the LSDcast, where it's all about love, sex, and desi dating. With your hosts, Prem and Ro.
A Sonologue production.